שחיל מצווה ורחוק מפניני מחבטה בלבה ושאלה לא יחסר גמלת הוא טוב ולא רע כל ימי חיי גרשת צמר ופלישתים פתח בחפץ כפיה הייתה קוניות צוחק ממרחקתה מלחמה תקום ביום ולילה ותיתן טרף לביתה וחוק לנערותיה חמים השדה ותיקחנו אמרי כפיה נתקה חגרה ביום מותניה ותאמץ רותיה המקיתו שכר לא יכבה בלילה נרה כדי השילך מקישו וכפיה תחופה הלב כפה פרסה לעני וידיה שילך לאביון לא תירא לבית המשענת כי כל בית עליו הוא שאני מעבדים עשתה לה ששמי אגם הנבושה נודע בשערים בעלה ושבתו עם זיק לארץ סבתין עשתה ותיפול וחגו נתנה לקנני עוז ויד הנבושה ותשחק ליום אחרון פיה פתחה בחוכמה בתורת חסד על לשונה סופיו הליכות ביתה בלחם עצלות לא תאכל קמו בניה בישוע מעלה ויהדלה אבות בנות עשו חיים ויד עלית על כולנה שקר החלק ויבר היופי אישה יראת אדונה איתי קלה ונולה לפי ידיה ויעללוה משיח עמסה שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון כי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. כוחם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. כוחם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון. מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, עת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי יכלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא לחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. הוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא לחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה. והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא בית נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה האדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יתיר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יתיר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד בתפארה והוא היה והוא עובד בתפארה הוא היה והוא עובד בתפארה והוא היה והוא עובד בתפארה כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד גשר צר מאוד גשר צר מאוד כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד גשר צר מאוד כל העולם כולו מלא ניסיונות מלא ניסיונות מלא ניסיונות כל העולם כולו מלא ניסיונות מלא
Más juntos, ready, 1, 2, and closer, you guys. Peace and love. Thank you. Grande su. Foto. Ready, 1, 2. Felicidades, miren para acá, una para acá, miren para acá, miren para acá, otra, 1, 2, otra. Muy lindo. And stop right there, smiley, 1, 2, looking at me. One more looking at me, yalla sweater, smiley, 1, 2, Thank you guys. Okay. Okay, guys. One more, ready, 1, 2, Thank you guys. And stop looking at me, 1, 2, One more, ready, 1, 2, Thank you guys.
אם אשכחך ירושלים, תשכח תשכח ימיני, תדבק לשוני, לכי איתי מלוא אזכרכי, אם אשכחך ירושלים, תשכח ימיני, תדבק
may all be seated. Good evening. My name is Yvette Waldenberg, and together with Carla Fischbach, we are honored to be here tonight as co-chairs of the 18th annual WIZO Florida DADE Community Bat Mitzvah. Tonight, it gives us great pleasure to welcome and be accompanied by Rabbi Ariel Yeshurun, Rebbetzin Dovi Rubenstein, the parents of the Benot Mitzvah and their siblings, and from your homes, families, friends, and WIZO board members. Welcome. 8 months ago, we were having our last rehearsal with this beautiful group of ladies whom you're all familiar with. We were just a few days away from celebrating their bat mitzvah, but COVID came up with a different plan for us and for the entire world. First, we want to thank Hashem for giving us good health, for allowing us precious time to spend with our families, and for reminding us what really we should value in life and what is really important. This evening, we are celebrating our bonds of tradition by presenting to you our 65 Benot Mitzvah who will accomplish their first major milestone, becoming Jewish women. Thanks to our Rebbetzin Dovi Rubenstein and Mora Miriam Azubel, who have beautifully prepared our ladies from the for their coming of age transition and for everything they did for them. Thank you for your unconditional dedication. Miriam and Dovi.
During 7 months, we have been meeting every week, and what a pleasure it has been working with this beautiful group of girls. You were always very respectful and well-behaved. You are a great example for our future girls to follow. During our mitzvah project, you had the opportunity to help other Jews. Sometimes you had the chance to meet them, and other times you just prepared gifts and goodies for them. We are sure that your heart were full after doing all of these mitzvot, just knowing that with your dedication, you were able to make someone else's life more pleasant and happy. Your heart should be full of joy. We hope these lessons will provide you the tools to become the fine Jewish woman who will fulfill the mitzvot that Hashem has instructed us to follow. From now on, you are responsible for your own actions. We hope you can put into practice what you have learned and always remember to be a good Jewish woman. We hope you're respectful and kind to everyone you come in contact with, no matter who they are or where they come from. Every time that you have the chance to do a good deed, do it. Start your day saying good morning, holding the door for your friends, and saying please and thank you to the people around you. Always be grateful to be alive and healthy, and always remember to give to those in need.
This year, as every other year, we encourage the girls to undertake a fundraising mitzvah project. They had amazing projects that ranged from filling pushkas, selling halot, honey cakes, sweets, bracelets, scrunchies, raffles, cosmetic bags, jewelry, books, Shabbat on the Go sets, Hanukkah sets, and keychains, which were a few of the many examples of what they did. In the end, all of you girls successfully collected over $20,000. This money will help many, many children and women and elders in Israel, and many girls and boys celebrate their bar mitzvahs in Israel. Kol hakavod. Let's all take a look at the screen. The images you're about to see will express the beauty of this mitzvah.
Haley Hardoon.
Good evening and welcome, finally, to our 18th annual WIZO Community Bar Mitzvah. This year, we are also celebrating WIZO's first 100 years. WIZO, happy 100th birthday. WIZO is an amazing organization that provides women and children in Israel of family, food, shelter, and protection, and a place to call home. I feel very lucky that I am a fourth-generation WIZO volunteer. I am honored and proud to be in the following footsteps of my mother, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers.
Camila Grushka.
WIZO, which stands for the Women's International Zionist Organization,
is one of the strongest and largest organizations in Israel, with more than 800 projects and 52 federations around the world. WIZO was started in 1920 in London, England, by Rebecca Zief, who had the vision and mission of creating a legacy of Zionism, care and tikkun olam for a land of Israel. And WIZO continues today, 100 years later, and continues alive from generation to generation. And the proof of that is the proof of that is that I'm also a fourth generation of WIZO women. My mom, grandmother, and great-grandmother are still WIZO volunteers today.
שהחיינו.
ברוך אתה, השם אלוהינו, מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה, השם אלוהינו, מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
אבינו שבשמיים.
Avinu Shem Hashamayim, our Father in heaven, our rock and redeemer of the people of Israel, bless the state of Israel with its promise of redemption. Shield it with your love. Spread over your shelter and your peace. Strengthen the hands of those who lead and defend our holy land. Deliver them from our enemies that rise up about us. Crown our efforts with triumph. We also ask your blessings for our adopted country, USA, our government, its leader and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. May our land and our citizens under your providence be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all men in peace and freedom, and helping them fulfill the vision of your God. Glory, Goy, and Goy, and let us all say, Amen.
Natalie Eisenman.
We are gathered here to honor our entrance into womanhood according to the Jewish faith by becoming Bar Mitzvah. Becoming Bar Mitzvah means becoming a woman, being responsible for your actions and mitzvot, by being kind and humble in the eyes of Hashem. After 7 months of intense preparation and another 7 months waiting in order to achieve this special day, and thanks to our teachers and devoted WIZO volunteers, we have learned so much about our history, culture, and Jewish traditions.
Shira Avidan.
It is said that when a girl is born, her soul enters the body in pieces and is not fully complete until she reaches the age of 12. This is the time when the bond between you and Hashem is the strongest. That is why we celebrate our bat mitzvah at this time in our lives. We are celebrating the completion of her soul and the beginning of our Jewish path as women.
Leah Avidan.
Respectful to your family and friends and keeping the Torah are priorities that we must follow as we turn into young ladies in our society. The Torah teaches us that if one performs acts of love and kindness every day, it will make you a better person and will help make the world a better place. Being a part of a WIZO community bat mitzvah gave me a sense of belonging, like part of a family or sisterhood. I am proud to say that WIZO has taught me how to become a Jewish woman and to be proud of being a Jew.
Avinu Malkeinu. Alexis Tornheim.
Throughout our Bar Mitzvah program, we did a variety of mitzvah projects. The one that I enjoyed the most was visiting the elderly before Rosh Hashanah. It was really meaningful because we brought happiness to their lives by singing, dancing, and interacting with them. We gave the elders gift bags and cards that we made for them, which made them really happy. This mitzvah taught me that by giving time, attention, and a small gift to someone else, it makes me feel even happier and very rewarded. Knowing that we were able to impact people by putting smiles on their faces made us feel very accomplished and fulfilled.
Stephanie Buddy.
Another mitzvah project we did was cleaning shoes for donating to underprivileged kids. Maybe for some of them, it is their only pair of shoes they will have in the year. I enjoyed this activity because it felt good to do a mitzvah for a person we don't even know. The thought of the faces of these kids receiving new shoes filled me with pure joy.
Daniela Sutton.
It made me feel very good when I was cleaning the used shoes to donate. We need to be thankful for what we have and need to think about others and how we can help them. I can only imagine that when needed people receive the used shoes, they'll be very happy, and I was able to be part of that joy. It felt great.
Tfilah. Please wait for your microphone packs to be removed, Group A. ואהבת. ואהבת. Tali Blood.
My favorite mitzvah project is one that all Jews are required to perform, Bikur Holim, which means visiting the sick. During the Bar Mitzvah program and thanks to High Lifeline, we dedicated some of our time to making blankets for sick kids who are currently hospitalized. Making children that are in the hospital fighting for their lives happy and cozy is very comforting and important because they deserve to feel like someone is thinking of them and praying for their speedy recovery. Simple acts of kindness like this one can really have a big impact on people, especially the ones who are going through tough times.
Rachel Gittelman.
Our Mitzvah project was going to Winn-Dixie as a group and buying food to donate to the Kosher Food Bank. The Kosher Food Bank is an open supermarket for Jewish families in Miami that are in need. When we entered the food bank and saw the many rows of donated food, it filled me with joy to be part of such a great cause.
Paloma Dean.
Food bank because I learned many new things about kosher food, and I also like that we were helping less fortunate people to be able to bring food to their homes. This experience was meaningful because sometimes we don't appreciate that we have plenty of food at home and that we get to choose what we eat. I realize there are people that are struggling to find food and bring it to their families. When you donate, you are not only making a difference in someone else's life, but in your own life as well.
Modani.
Emma Bogdanowitz.
That identifies and unites Jews, no matter what their personal beliefs and practices are. It's tzedakah. Helping the poor is an important responsibility that we will take on as we grow into Jewish women. We all participated in several projects and raised money so that kids in Israel can also have the opportunity to celebrate their bar and bar mitzvah. By fundraising and giving it as tzedakah, we have made a huge difference in their lives.
Ariana Galski.
Actions are considered more important than faith. It's one's obligation rather than one's choice to help others. When you give tzedakah, it brings joy not to the only person you're helping, but to the person you're doing the mitzvah. We experienced that firsthand through raising projects. I think tzedakah is my favorite mitzvah because it is important to overcome selfishness and care for others.
Liat Schechter.
Of all the many mitzvah projects we did, the one I loved the most was writing heartfelt notes to our friends. I learned that a simple sentence has the ability to brighten someone's day. But this activity also taught me the mitzvah of loving your fellow Jew. All I could think about while writing the notes was the person's face who was receiving it, and how happy they would be to know they were loved. This activity brought me a tremendous amount of joy.
Al-Koleile.
Alexa Catan.
This year we had the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. We visited the Holocaust Museum, the White House, the Israeli Embassy, and more. We had the privilege to hear and speak with Ambassador Ron Dermer, who taught us about the history of Israel and how important and fortunate we are having the state of Israel to protect us.
Mia Rebruch.
My favorite place to visit in Washington was the Holocaust Museum. Even though it was very sad, I got to see how the Jews lived before and during the war and how the Nazis actually treated them. We saw with our own eyes the pictures, documents, objects from World War II that showed us that life wasn't fair back then. It was very meaningful because as the future generation, we must keep passing the story of the Holocaust so it will never happen again.
Raya Gilinski.
The Holocaust Museum gave us a better understanding of the brutal crimes and endless acts against the Jews. It made me realize we should never judge people or religion or race. We should always be grateful for what we have and not take anything for granted, and to show gratitude for the people who are always there for us because we can lose something in a tragic event like the Holocaust.
Rachel Carmi.
Also very lucky to visit the Holocaust Memorial with my own grandmother, Liko Carmi, who is herself a Holocaust survivor, and with survivor David Schechter. David, as he asked us to call him, shared with us his amazing story of survival and gave us the responsibility of continuing to tell their story so that the Holocaust will never happen again. We additionally took a Holocaust workshop with expert Goldie Reikieman. We learned a lot about the kids that perished during the Holocaust. We participated in a program called Remember Us, where we each got assigned a child who perished in the Shoah before they were able to have their own bat mitzvah, some of them with our same last names. Tonight we are representing them, and we are standing here celebrating our bat mitzvah in their honor. We will never forget and will always remember them.
Group B, thank you so much. Please exit the stage. Please wait for your microphones to be removed.
ירושלים של זהב.
Nisa ben Ruach HaMayim
שומע תפילה. אב
הרחמן, שמע קולנו, השם אלוהינו, חוס ורחם עלינו, ודבר ברחמים, וברצון תהיה תפילתנו, כי אלה שומע תפילות, ותרחמנו אתה, ומלפניך מגנו, וגם אל תשמענו, פנינו פנינו, ושמע תפילתנו.
Isabela Margulis.
The goal of every Jewish woman should be to follow her religion and heritage with honor and pride, and to instill those beliefs in her children for them to pass down to their children. In Judaism, a woman is regarded as the foundation of the home. Because of this, there are 3 mitzvot that are reserved especially for women, which bring blessings not only to her, but her family as well.
Nicole Sebald.
Those 3 mitzvot are 1. The lighting of the Shabbat candles, which is considered one of the most important mitzvot. 2. The mitzvah of baking challah and offering as a gratitude to Hashem. 3. And the mitzvah of going to the mikveh once you get married.
Chloe Wigoda.
The lighting of the Shabbat candles is considered one of the most important and cherished obligations of a Jewish woman, because it is a mitzvah and can only be performed by women. When lighting the candles, we bear a direct line to Hashem, to tell him about our dreams, wishes, and hopes. The lighting of the candles represents an internal bond between us, Hashem, and our ancestors.
Amen.
Amen.
Tamir.
Shabbat is one of the most important mitzvot in Judaism. It is the only one written in the Ten Commandments. When we had our Shabbat done with Dubby, we got to learn and experience the true meaning and experience of Shabbat. We felt so connected to our roots and religion, and we also got to try Dubby's amazing food.
Sofia Cavavier.
An important obligation is the mitzvah of making challah for Shabbat and special holidays. By making challah for Shabbat, the woman becomes the spiritual leader of the household. This year, we had the amazing experience of making challah with our moms. We are truly blessed to have had the opportunity of living this experience and sharing this mitzvah together with them.
Dali Strimber.
We chose to become Bar Mitzvah with WIZO because it is an amazing opportunity to share these incredible and important moments of our lives with our friends. We want to thank the WIZO volunteers, Rebbetzin Dobi and Mora Miriam, who put so much time and effort into making this experience the best one we could have had. They organized many fun activities which taught us the importance of doing mitzvot and good deeds.
Sabrina Hamri.
My friends and I miss going to WIZO classes on Sundays and Wednesdays and doing such fun things, but we all know that we left WIZO making a difference in the world. Thank you, WIZO, for this amazing journey. We will never forget you.
Hi.
Group C, please exit the stage. We'd like to call up Rabbi Ariel Yeshurun.
I'd like to ask everybody to please rise as we bless our girls. Yesimech Elokim Kesara, Rivka, Rachel veLeah. May it be God's will that you be like our matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Yevarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. May Hashem bless you and protect you. Yael Hashem panav elecha vichuneka. May Hashem shine his countenance upon you and grace you. Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may he bless you with peace. You may be seated. Parents, esteemed guests, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We are here to celebrate with our wonderful WIZO Bat Mitzvah class of 2020. So first, let's give them all a nice, loud round of applause. Every year, the WIZO Bat Mitzvah is a magical event. The girls are wonderful, lively, and lovely. They're so talented and gifted, so mature and responsible, ambitious and aspiring young women, just like the women who founded this great organization. Look at these young women. You are looking into the eyes of our next Jewish generation. They are energetic, happy, smart, and kind. They're ready to take on the world. They're ready to make a difference. Each and every one of us, on some level, wants to change the world. But sometimes we feel that compared to others, our contributions are not as significant. Sometimes we doubt if we really have what it takes to make a difference. But it's not true. We must embrace who we are and rise up to the challenge together. We must understand that who we are is defined by the unique God-given gifts we've all been so graciously endowed. Only then can we learn to recognize our very own tailor-fit fingerprint contribution to the world. Only then will our legacy be complete and in harmony, when each of us is using their specific set of skills, unique only to us. We as a nation, we as a people, we as a humanity work together. We depend on each other. We rely on every individual to do his or her part. We stand as one in the effort to make the world a better place. Every endeavor that was ever accomplished had many people who made it happen and successfully saw it through to completion. WIZO is a prime example. To make WIZO the monumental organization it is today was a task that could have only been galvanized and brought to fruition in international success with the help of many people, each making her or his very own special contribution of both talent and treasure. From the people who envisioned the organization, to the women who labored on its every detail, down to the volunteers on the ground and those on the sidelines who just stood to cheer along and keep the excitement, momentum, and ambition alive. Because of all these people, this project succeeded. Because of all of these people, this noble cause continues to live on and inspire so many young women. All of these people were dependent upon one another to each do their particular part and complete their specific task in order for it to become such a powerful movement. We need people on many fronts and in multiple capacities, all working together. So don't make the mistake of thinking that your contribution isn't going to make a difference. It's only the confluence of all our collective talents and efforts that ultimately yields great things for mankind. Some of humanity's most graceful moments have been on full display when people lifted each other up and came to each other's need. When they supported the fallen, held the hand of the weak, fed the hungry, and stood up for the rights of the underprivileged and marginalized. But this was only possible when we joined as a group, united and with a common cause. Girls, you're about to start your journey as young women. You're at the threshold of a big and very important decision that would set you on your life's course, no matter where life takes you or what it brings your way. Always remember to embrace and love who you are. Remember to keep our traditions sacred. Our heritage is the foundation of our people, and its fundamentals are the foundations of our Jewish homes. The Torah speaks to us about values and virtues, and it tells us about setting a good example. It teaches us to love and not to hate, and to always tell the truth. It inspires us to become better people and to think positive. It educates us about what matters in life. It tells us to set priorities and limits and believe in ourselves and strike a healthy balance. It talks to us about following our hearts and meeting our goals. It asks us to be ambitious and pursue kindness. It tells us about the value of family and friendship, of integrity and honesty, and of loyalty and hard work. It implores us to live up to a divine code and bring Hashem and spirituality into our daily activities. The Torah encourages us to be inclusive and see other people's point of view, to be accepting and patient, calm and fair and thoughtful of others, and resourceful and benevolent, and giving and determined and dedicated and diligent. And it also tells us that the world is full, not of challenges, but of opportunity. And it instructs us to never, ever give up or get overwhelmed by all that it teaches us and expects of us. It wants us to give life, with all its complexity and struggles, a fighting chance, because it wants us to know that it is good for us and it will make us have such a special connection and relationship with Hashem and with people. Today, those lessons of kindness, fellowship, and brotherhood ring as true as they did thousands of years ago. But perhaps especially today, with the new realities with which we must contend, brought about by this tragic pandemic, we realize just how fragile and vulnerable and dependent on each other we are. And as we celebrate this momentous event, it's important more than ever to believe in the power of humility and compassion to deepen our faith and repair the world. At a time when too many of our friends and neighbors are struggling to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads, it is up to us to do what we can to help those less fortunate. At a time when prejudice and oppression still exist in the shadows of our society, it is up to us to stand as a beacon of freedom and tolerance and embrace the diversity that has always made us stronger as a people. Girls, God has blessed you and gave you so many talents and virtues. God gave you wonderful parents and beautiful siblings and awesome grandparents too. I want to bless you as I bless you every single year that graduates, that you should always celebrate life for all its beautiful things. Become curious about life's mysteries. Love life and love people. Trust your intuition. Listen to your feelings. Follow your heart. Explore your God-given gifts. And always keep your family and friends close to you. Be diligent with your studies and resolved in your decisions. Be excited to discover, love to learn, and dare to experience. Know how to forgive. Teach others what you know. And love God for his never-ending love for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the WIZO Bat Mitzvah class of 2020.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. And now we have a short video from WIZO Florida Chairperson Goldie Rechkiman.
Dear parents, family, and friends of the WIZO Bat Mitzvah girls of 2020. I am so happy that after so many challenges because of the pandemic, we are finally here celebrating one of the most important milestones in the life of a Jewish woman, her Bat Mitzvah. WIZO is honored that you entrusted your daughters to our Bat Mitzvah program, where we strive to give them a meaningful and beautiful experience. As you probably know, we are the largest provider of social services in Israel outside of the government. We have women's abuse shelters, homes and schools for youth at risk, and even care for our youngest Israelis so that they too can improve the quality of their lives. We at WIZO commit to aid every child, every teen, every woman, as well as the elderly that needs us. Every life helped is a life saved. With the funds collected through the Bat Mitzvah program, WIZO Florida is able to provide bar and bat mitzvah programs for all the children of our Nir Ha'emek and Nachlat Yehuda youth villages. Without this help, these children would not have the means to take the lessons, buy the tefillin in the case of the boys, and to have a celebration for the bar or bat mitzvah. Today is such an important day for the bat mitzvah girls. It marks their becoming a woman, and what a great way to do it with their personal achievements and their mitzvahs of wholeheartedly helping others. Mazal tov to the WIZO not mitzvah, their parents, and their families.
And last but not least, we welcome Rebbetzin Dovi Rubenstein, the girls' teacher.
I'm sitting there as an insider, knowing the hours that went into this. So before I even begin, don't you guys think tonight is amazing? Isn't this production unreal? So let's give a major thank you and a major applause to the organizers, to the volunteers, to Stephanie Eskenazi, to Carla Fischbach, to Yvette Waldenberg, to Maura Miriam. This is unbelievable. And good evening, everybody. I'm used to talking to the girls back here. I kind of like this. Get to see all of you. So it gives me great pride to be a part of an organization like WIZO, where every girl is a powerful woman. I feel privileged to teach WIZO Bat Mitzvah Club, giving me the opportunity to inspire these amazing girls and instill important values of our dear Torah mitzvot through interactive discussions, stories, fun activities, and hands-on mitzvah projects. Surely, this festivity, albeit special and beautiful, is very different to what we initially envisioned. Our plans to celebrate grandly with hundreds of relatives and friends were disrupted by a pandemic that no one could have imagined would change our lives this way. It could be very disappointing being constrained by the new limitations imposed on our routines. But let me share with you a story of my grandmother's bat mitzvah in Russia in 1935 that may help us gain perspective in our lives today. My grandmother grew up in communist Russia in total poverty. When her cousin Rosa had her bat mitzvah, the cousins came to celebrate and gave her a beautiful dress as a gift. My grandmother, Shula, couldn't wait for her bat mitzvah. She so wanted a dress. She so desperately needed her dress. She was wearing one for the past 6 years. And her mother would take down the hem and would add different materials to the bottom so that the dress would grow with her. When she turned 12, being that her family was so impoverished, her mother was not able to throw a party, but instead invited just the cousins, COVID style, for a meager herring and potatoes. When it was time to open the gifts, she saw she received a card from the cousins. It was a pretty card. It said Happy Bat Mitzvah, but there was no dress. Fast forward 53 years. In 1988, my oldest sister got married in Brooklyn, New York. And after the chuppah, we convened to take family pictures. At that time, we must have been around 100 first cousins. As we were posing for a group photo, my grandmother noticed her cousin crying. She approached her and asked her, "What's wrong?" "Please don't be insulted," my grandmother assured her. "You will be included in the next picture with the extended family." Her response took my grandmother by surprise. "I'm crying," she answered, thinking of how we both grew up in Soviet Russia under the communist rule. I cannot help but look back and compare our fate. One of the most infamous methods of communist indoctrination was achieved by forcing every child to attend public school. Those who refused were to be punished by depriving them of vouchers to the most basic necessities. Fearing you would not remain strong and true to your Jewish observance, your parents did not send you to communist schools. Without school, your family grew up in dire poverty, without an apartment or vouchers for food. Because of this crime, your family was evicted from their home, and you lived in the women's section of the synagogue, sleeping on a bench instead of a bed. Your father was taken and killed by the Russian communists for teaching Torah and for being a mohel. We, on the other hand, we grew up as the Russian elite. My parents sent us to communist schools. Thus, we received an apartment, vouchers for food, and new clothing. We looked sophisticated and content. While your family with no shoes and tattered clothing were our pitiful cousins. Today, only one of my 2 sons is married and has 1 child. In your family picture, as the photographer attempts to direct everyone amidst the laughter and chatter, he can't seem to fit all of you in the picture. It literally looks like a city. In our family picture, we have lots of space. I realize we have overlooked your suffering and undermined your sacrifice. But now I recognize that your steadfast commitment to Jewish observance and values has paid off, and Hashem rewarded you abundantly. Girls, when we face challenges, they are there to mold and shape us into strong Jewish women. A bat mitzvah is not merely another day in the calendar or an evening of party and gifts, but a day of accepting responsibility as young Jewish women with the strength and power inherent within this role. At times, staying true to Torah values and Jewish traditions may come with difficulty and require several sacrifices. But when we do what Hashem expects of us, the end results speak for themselves, and the positive outcome justifies the past efforts. Mazal tov, girls. I hope that you take all the lessons we learned in our classes to heart, and may they help you whenever you confront difficulty. You should know that through challenges, we only become stronger, better women. Have a good one.
Thank you, Dobby.